don't know if you guys realize this or not, but next week we could potentially be doing this podcast, I believe, and there might be actual football professionally on Saturday night. Saturday starts for the NFL next week. So as we're making these spread picks, there might actually be some NFL football going on. That tells you how deep in the year we are. We won't be opening up this show with any college takes. We did that last week, or last show actually. Last week, look at me with time. But we do have our normal spread picks. We are going to walk you through our DraftKings kind of process theories. And I think this week is a very unique week to do that because we've built enough lineups as a group now that we kind of have an idea of a rhythm, not just pillars, but like a rhythm of how we draft. But this week I think is unlike most weeks. So it should be an interesting week. Why don't we waste no more time, though, and get on to our spread picks? We came up with a group spread pick pretty quickly. I'll let Donnie take the lead there because the spreads have been kind of your thing, Donnie. So I'll let you introduce yourself to the people, and then we can get on from there.
Yeah, we got this one pretty much immediately. I said it once, we all said yeah. Lions -3 seems like a no-brainer against a Bears team that is not ready to win. I'm surprised it didn't get bet up because this is what it opened at. So
I mean, just the addition of Justin
I actually had it open at a much closer game, and like the Bears at home with Justin Fields, like it looks to me like a lot of people are kind of wanting to bet this game, or at least there's decent money from my metrics going in on the Bears. But like I think the Lions are going to cover this. They need a win just for like confidence stake here at the end of the year, and they're the better team.
Now, are my eyes just for decoration, or I swear this game line was at -2.5 for the Lions about an hour ago. Did it change?
No, it's moved from -1.5 to like I see it -3.5 in some places already.
Yeah,
like it is getting bet to the Lions side. So like Chicago up wouldn't surprise me, but like I agree. Like it should be bet to the Lions side.
And I'll put it on the slip just so we know what we lock it in at when we call it up. So I'll put all the bets we picked on it on the slip just so people can see where it is. I actually thought that this was going to move early in the week. So I bet it initially on Sunday night because I thought that was a good number. And I got it at -5. And I thought that was a good number. I had no idea it was going to get bet down to what Gov said, a -2. And now it's back up to a -3. Honestly, I think everyone knows the Lions are talented, but every time Dan Campbell is projected to take care of a team, we fall into the bear trap, pun intended, I guess, in this case. And we end up playing really close games. So we play to the level of our competition, and we all know that the Bears have talent. Like, that's not an argument. It's the utilization and the application of that talent that has always been the problem for them.
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's essentially what I was going to say too, Logan. We have some talent that can keep up with this Lions talent, but it's the coaching difference that makes it at the end of the day. Matt Eberflus is the type of coach at this point, he's blaming the players exactly like Matt Nagy did a couple of years ago, where he's saying it's the execution of the players that's the problem, and that's how you know he's about done.
And I will say what's different this week compared to most weeks when the Lions are favored is Dan Campbell has taken this game pretty much all on his shoulders. He said the fourth down kind of fun-natured against the Packers was too much. He put the team in bad positions. He didn't have the team ready against the Bears. He said basically that they were lucky to win that game, that if they were relying on luck, in tomorrow's game, they were going to be in bad shape. So I do think we're going to see a very pissed off version of Dan Campbell. Now, it might be like a basketball game where some people just don't play good pissed off. We're about to find out, I think, though. I think you're going to get an angry Lions team. Hopefully that means we play good angry. We'll see. I forget. You think I'm a good producer at this point, but I promise you I'm not. I forget whose pick it is now and how we're supposed to go. I guess that's
It's
taking over you, Don.
Evan. Yeah, it's
Evan,
Evan.
you get the first pick.
So and then let's go through the order one more time. It's me, and then how does the rest of it go?
You, Gov, me, Logan.
Got it. So Logan will be taking the first snake. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will go ahead and go with the Houston Texans at -3.5 over the New York Jets. As much as I love this Jets defense, the Jets don't have an offense to back it up. And even though they're going to stick Zach Wilson back in under center, I don't think that's going to be enough to keep up with this high-powered Texans offense. And the Texans defense is not too shabby either, as young as they are. They're not great yet, but I mean, I think -3.5 is at least a fair spread to take. I definitely see them winning by more than a field goal.
Yeah, to me that spread's just there because of how good the Jets defense has been. You have to respect at some point.
I would think it'd be under 3 if that was the case.
Now, I do have a Jets defense take that's really sad and unfortunate. The Jets have been on the field defensively more than any other team, almost double the next closest team I had heard in terms of defensive minutes played this season. Their defense has been put through the ringer most literally. I would like this, but the Texans are limited offensively this week, not having Dalton Schultz and then not having Tank Dell. I love their offense. I like Collins, obviously being a Michigan guy, but I Sauce Gardner having lots of options to cover, most literally with the Tank Dell injury. I don't know if the Texans can cover this. This seems like a trap game. It should be an easy game. This just seems like Houston might have a problem here. I don't like it.
We're still waiting for Stroud to have that, rookie game in a sense as well.
Well, that's
Not the,
well, Donnie. That also kind of pisses me off too, because it's almost like we want it to happen so we can like eat our cotton candy about it. But if we just guess it every week, like I don't know. To me, that kind of
right.
seems like a lazy
But of
choice.
all weeks, this seems like he's playing a really good defense.
I know what you're
This might
saying.
be the week it is.
You're not saying you expect it. You're just saying the media keeps talking. Like that's my problem is the media keeps talking about it. But what if he's just good?
He is very
Well,
good.
everyone's going to have a bad game anyway. Once a season, you're going to have a bad game. No one has a perfect season.
But here's the thing about C.J. Stroud. He didn't have a great game in his first NFL debut against a tough Baltimore Raven defense, and he was just okay against the Falcons, Saints, and Panthers when they lost against the Panthers in Week 8. What's Stroud's definition of a rookie
I guess his
bad
preseason.
game?
His preseason was pretty bad.
Okay, that's a good problem to have, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, of all times to be bad, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, like that's the thing is like that's what I find I guess most frustrating to get, and then we'll get Gov to have his opinion here. But like the thing is now it's almost like you have to have an opinion whether you think Stroud is good, bad, or indifferent. It's like for me it's just indifferent because his price on DraftKings makes him hard to get to. It's not that I don't think he's talented. It's not that like I think he's some rookie waiting to hit the wall. Like he's not Humpty Dumpty, but it's just like the more DraftKings prices him up, the more I'm going to have to look at other options because I do think, like, for example, Justin Herbert's cheaper than he is this week on DraftKings. Like, at some point, you just reach a tier where it's like, okay, I respect you. And because I respect you, that sometimes means I can't play you.
7 of his games have had 2 passing touchdowns or more.
Right.
Especially when he had that 5-touchdown passing game against the Buccaneers in Week 9. So, yeah, it's not surprising that his price right now is sitting at, what is it, 7,600.
Yeah, it's third highest on this slate, if I'm not mistaken.
Fourth.
Like I said, I want to get over to go, but I just want to make that point really quickly because, like, I think we do that in fantasy a lot where it's like, well, of course I want to play this guy. It's like, yeah, we all want to play good players, but we play a salary cap game for that reason. I just thought it was a good point to bring up that, I want to play CJ Stroud too. I just think at this point it's hard to play given Dalton Schultz is out, Tank Dell is out. The stack's difficult. Gov, you have any thoughts on this game?
I mean, I don't hate the pick. That's about it.
It's not bad.
Like this
All
was
right.
the game I was like full fading in DFS. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lowest under or over under this week, I believe.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it.
All right, so it's my pick now.
Yes.
All right, I'm just gonna get this one out of the way. I'm gonna take the home favorite, the Dogs in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
I'll take Cleveland over Jacksonville -3.
Now, Gov, are you taking that with the presumption that
I don't care if it's a Hurts
okay,
playing through it,
yeah.
Trevor Lawrence or CJ Beathard. I will take the Browns defense at home. The only thing that could cause them to lose this game would be the quarterback they play, and they're both bad, so I'm still just going to take the Browns.
Which one would you prefer for the Browns to be
I think
playing?
I'd rather just have them play Flacco.
Yeah.
But
I feel the same.
I told you
the only thing I'll say about this game, I have one small thing. And that's Trevor Lawrence, I've said it now, 4 weeks straight. Bad against pressure as it is, you're now going to put him against such a good defense, and he's hurt. That's I think it's a recipe for disaster. I would send him out.
Yeah.
I would have to agree. And Joe Flacco was elevated for Week 14, reported 5 hours ago, and I don't see why he wouldn't be the starter for the Browns at this point because he played better than Dorian Thompson-Robinson against the Rams than DTR did against the Steelers and Broncos, which I guess you could argue those are better defenses, but he's got to develop behind somebody as a rookie.
agreed. I think Flacco is probably the better choice.
But that's also kind of sad too, is when you have to call Joe Flacco.
You're again, they're both bad, but I trust the Browns at home to just pull out this win. I don't know how. I don't know why.
And structurally, we've always talked about maybe wanting to do an earlier show or having a show where we could have it live longer. But this is the advantage to having this kind of late show is because we get all the late breaking news, injuries, and stuff like that. And this week, more than any week, I feel like there's a lot of news that just changes, we're talking starting quarterbacks. We don't know. This almost feels like week 18 with all the incentives and no one knows who's going to play. It could get crazy. So make sure you adjust your lineups and you have some PMR this week. That'd be my advice. It's my pick, right?
No, it's mine.
And your last I'm going to make it 2.
That's right.
I'm going to make it quick. I'm just going to take the far more talented team, giving Niners. It's at 13.5 right now as favorites over the Seahawks. It's a lot, but I don't know the last time that Seahawks have had a close game with them.
Yeah, the Niners usually have their number.
31-19 was their last game, which would have covered.
Yeah. It does look like Walker's going to play, if that makes a difference to you, Johnny.
Yeah.
But then Gino came up on the didn't practice with a groin on Friday. So
they've played this will be their 5th game in the past 2 seasons, and their closest one was 21-13. The rest all would have covered. It's barely been close.
Well, the Gov's point, I mean, Gino touched it out with the shoulder thing or that arm thing, and that looked dire enough. I don't mess around with groins. That's like hamstrings for wide receivers. That's kind of a vital part of motion and just being able to twist and turn your body the way quarterbacks are going to have to rotate their hips to throw footballs.
You guys see that Dak Prescott exercise? You know he has to use them hips.
Yep, all quarterbacks do.
Twist and thrust and twist and thrust.
All right, Logan, go ahead.
Yeah, I am just going to take the easy one here. I feel like the Raiders have more to play for. They actually have a chance at the playoffs, outside chance, may it be, but they still have a chance. The Vikings are pretty much cooked.
They're in the playoff seeding right now, the Vikings.
I was going to say, are they cooked, though?
They're literally the 6th seed. They're in the playoffs if it ends today.
Hey, this is my story. You can tell me I'm wrong, Donnie, when I'm wrong. Okay, you can write the chapter where I eat all the crow. I'm telling you, I think the Raiders have more of a chance than the Vikings at the playoffs. You're gonna give me plus numbers. I want the +3 on the Raiders against the Vikings. What scares me is Justin Jefferson's back, and we haven't seen Joshua Dobbs with Justin Jefferson. But that almost speaks to how desperate these teams are, and desperate teams usually keep the game close if nothing else. So give me the +3 on the Raiders.
Yeah.
It's worth pointing out the Raiders are a far better home team than they are an away team, so that is to their advantage.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it would have been in a dome, so I really don't think it matters too much. But like fans, if they're gonna travel to places like L.A., Las Vegas.
I do think the 40 though is pretty high in this game. I was surprised about that.
I think that's a respect to the talent they both have on offense. You know, you had Adams, Jefferson, Jacobs, to just name a few.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Like Donnie, you might be right. Maybe the Vikings have more life than I give them credit for. I just think the Joshua Dobbs stuff has been like a Cinderella, and I was never going to that ball dance. I was never wearing the glass slipper like some people were. So it was easy for me to kick off as soon as it fell off.
He had to come down at some point, and the Bears defense exposed him for who he really is as a backup quarterback.
I mean, I don't think he's like this starter or anything that should be starting a whole 16 games, 17 games, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have these 4 interception games every once in a while, but I do think he's good enough where he can still come in and win you games.
No doubt.
Yeah, so my next game, and I don't know how this game is this close. I think it's by far one of the more obvious plays. Give me the Chiefs at -1.5. The Packers are far better team than the Buffalo Bills, and the Chiefs were basically one Hail Mary away from beating them. I think this is an AFC team that the Chiefs actually know. They've had some bad blood with them before. I think Patrick Mahomes stops screwing around so much in this game, and we get a condensed target tree. We get a very focused, a very laser focused Travis Kelce, Mahomes, and they tell the rookie, be ready. I'm basically narrowing my target tree down to 3 to 4 players. We're not getting cute anymore. We're not trying any more gadget plays. We already have to go without Pacheco. We're just gonna, do what we do and do it well. I'm gonna lead this team as a superstar that I am, and Patrick Mahomes. I just think this Buffalo Bills team is cooked.
Yeah, and the Buffalo Bills are a surprisingly fucking terrible team on the road. They're 1-4 on the road. I don't understand how they're so bad this year. I mean, aside from coaching, but they've been far more successful at home.
That being said, though, I do love this game for fantasy points. I do think this game gets 50 to 60 fantasy points, or 50 to 60 real life points. Like I would hit the over in this game.
You think it's gonna be high scoring?
Yeah.
You meant 50 to 60 between both teams.
Between both teams, yeah, I would smash the over.
Yeah.
Because I do think both teams are going to be able to score. I just don't like the Buffalo defense at all, and I don't know. Maybe I'm.
What's the stuff with Von Miller? Is he able to play? Like,
Johnny, the whole Buffalo team is weird, man. The coach is making the weird references. He's calling like weird team meetings. They have weird veterans that are like half in, half out. I talked about Cinderella and dance parties. This team, the Buffalo Bills Chiefs game, I don't know. They're playing like hokey pokey or something. I don't know what they're doing, man.
Well, to be fair, not that it makes it any better, and it's awful, and there should have been a huge thing about this already. That meeting where that stuff was said, which I don't want to get into too much detail of, that was from 2019. The fact that it was kept quiet for this long is very impressive.
Yeah. It's also worth pointing out that Von Miller is available to play in Week 14, but
Yes.
Von Miller has been a rotational linebacker all season long anyway because he's past his prime. So I don't know how much of a difference he'd make anyway against the Chiefs
Well,
offense.
he still has the, when these older veterans get there to that age, they have chances of having those crazy games out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's definitely true, but I mean, looking at the numbers he's put up, it's been almost nothing.
Yeah.
They paid him so much too.
Yeah, that's the even sadder part for the Bills, and he's a rotational guy.
But see, I like the offenses in this game. Like, I still think the Bills are a fun, functional offense. Like, Josh Allen is going to have fun. Like, this reminds me of the Seattle Lions of a couple years ago, where it's like both teams are just gonna like go out in the backyard and grab the water balloons and start chucking them at each other. I just don't think it's actually going to be good football.
So I want to go take this to the Chiefs real quick. The Chiefs lost to the Lions, Broncos, Eagles, and now the Packers. They're 8-4. They're still a good team. Are any of you three concerned about the Chiefs?
No, because I view all those teams they lost to as playoff contenders. So that's
I don't want to say that I'm not concerned, because I'm concerned is the fact of they're not able to do as much as they used to be able to do. Like before, the recipe was we have a great offense and our defense will step up come playoff time, and they always did. Now it's we have a hit or miss offense at best, and the defense kind of has to carry us, which is a recipe you can win with because you have Patrick Mahomes and you have a great defense. But that can also lose you any game as well. If your receivers are dropping 20 passes a game, which we have seen them drop 20 passes in a game, you can't win like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Bolton is coming back this week too for the Chiefs defense,
which is huge.
That's a nice plus.
Yeah, it is.
Gov, what do you think?
I don't know. I kind of like Buffalo in this game. I think this could be a high shootout game.
They are desperate. They're a desperate team.
I could see just taking the Chiefs, yeah.
See, I like the desperation for fantasy-wise. I just don't know if we're going to get like championship level professional, like good football. I think it could be fun circus football. Go. What's your? Or I shouldn't assume picks. Like I know the order. Go ahead and pick the next game. Whoever's.
I believe it's yours again.
No. He just picked us two. It is my pick.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna double check and make sure that I don't like something else.
Again, visually, I'm putting all the picks this week on the betting slip to the right of the screen. You guys can see it.
Coin flip.
You're missing your Niners pick, right?
Oh, I missed that. That's right. I missed the Niners. You're right about that.
The coin flip is going to go towards the team that failed me last week. Give me the Denver Broncos plus 2.5. I still think they're a good enough football team to win. I don't believe in this Chargers team. They should be able to pull this off.
Logan, do you still believe in this Charger team?
Yeah, because Justin Herbert looks healthier and healthier every week. And it's not just hyperbole. There was actually like a finger problem, and that has looked better and better every week. And the actual throwing motion has looked better. They had a lot of young players have to step up. Guys like Guyton, guys like Johnson, who are starting to actually catch the ball. And you can make jokes that wide receivers probably should know how to catch the ball at this point in their NFL career, but there still is some jitters for some people. I think it was the right time to call out your best players too. Austin Eckler got called out this week, basically saying like if he doesn't perform, they're going to bench him. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy because I do like that desperation team that's scrappy but talented. And both of these teams, if we're being honest, have that quality. Sean Payton was dead a couple weeks ago, and now he's got that team playing hard. The Chargers are talented but coach badly. Like both teams are desperate.
That's what this difference is. I'm buying into the desperate Broncos that have a coach they believe in compared to a Chargers team that is probably more talented, but they just do not believe in their coach.
Brandon Staley is really bad, and he couldn't put more than 6 points against a really bad Patriot team.
Exactly. Well, to be fair, the Patriots defense has been not awful this year.
Yeah,
Now,
they are
since
good at
they've been
stopping the
hurt.
run, but
Since
they were
they've been
still
hurt, different story.
yeah, and
But-
they were still a 2-10 team. Well, as a result of the Charger game, but
Yes. They're historically one of the worst offenses we'll ever watch.
I was bringing up a comment from Nathan because it looked like he was about to say something. He's obviously joining us, but he had nothing to say. So he's watching. I guess he just wants us to know he's watching. So shout out to you, man, for watching. If you do have a question, go ahead and shoot it to us. But Donnie, that's I guess why I like football, because I like these kind of compelling stories, and both teams have interesting storylines. Both teams are desperate for the last AFC wildcard positioning, so it's going to be a fun, exciting game. But man, are they like, I don't know. Talk about like, to me, the Chargers and Denver Broncos are like that reality show of the NFL this year, where it's like we watch them for the chaos. They're fun, they're entertaining, but it's also somewhat trashy. Like you almost want to cover your eyes sometimes when you watch these teams because you never know what you're gonna get. That's kind of how I would give you a synopsis.
All right, go ahead with your next pick, buddy.
All right. Well, which one? See, this was tough because like there's only homer picks and games like I don't really trust. Fuck it. Let's just go with the hammer.
The hammer, eh?
Uh-huh.
What do you got?
Is that what you call it?
The Dolphins
The Dolphins.
over the Titans on Monday night.
You're going against Derrick Henry in December?
I'm going against D. Hember on a Monday night game.
God.
Hey, he could still have a good game and lose by 14.
'tis true.
Like, what's the number at exactly? 13, right? Yeah.
13, yeah. Very high.
It is. Let's go fish.
Yeah, the Titans might be fishing outside the playoffs early, talking about fishing, because I don't know, man. I'm not saying Vrabel's on the hot seat, but they have not shown any life or any kind of like spark for quite a while. I don't know. Maybe you could say, well, Levis was a spark, but like even that didn't last very long. It just feels like everyone's ready to go home for that team. For me, I don't know.
Yep. Well, when Vrabel came in, it was like, oh yeah, we just got this real rough attitude. You know, we're gonna punch you in the mouth, and it's died down for sure.
Well, to tell you kind of how that goes, Donnie, is I was watching Monday Night Football, right, and the injury happened with Trevor Lawrence. It was Monday night, or was it Sunday night? Sometimes I get confused.
It was Monday.
Yeah, it was Monday, and immediately the announcers were like, well, if Jacksonville's out, that means the division's wide open. And the first team they mentioned was the Houston Texans. They did not even say the Titans, which is what you might think, like, oh, it's still wide open for the Titans. No, they immediately went to, oh, this division would still be wide open for the Texans, because that's
the Texans are second place. I mean,
right, but that tells you not only like seeding, but like in terms of excitement and storylines, people are just more excited for the Texans than they are the Titans. I don't know. I think it might be a time for changing of the guard.
Can I say something about Mike Vrabel, though? Mike Vrabel is an example of a good head coach that management, especially ownership, just will not do what it takes to get behind the proper coaching to make the team successful. Because the biggest example of this is trading A.J. Brown. Like, why the fuck would you trade A.J. Brown and then go pick a Treylon Burks who, A, hasn't been able to stay healthy, and B, is nowhere near as good as A.J. Brown ever has been?
And then also realize that, oh, we need to sign DeAndre Hopkins because we need another receiver.
Boom.
Yeah. And basically not that it was a 1-for-1 contract, but they gave Hopkins a lot of money for this idea that, oh, we don't need AJ, we're going to save a bit of money, and then you go and pay Hop. It just made no sense. I feel a lot of same like Mike Tomlin vibe for the Steelers. It's like, yeah, we all know he's a good head coach, but what have you given him to work with?
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how I feel about coaches like them, where they're going to take more of the blame than they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last spread pick, Evan. Go ahead and give it to us.
All right, this is going to be the first time I've ever come back at someone else's pick, but Logan, I got to call you out on that Vikings at Raiders game. I am going to take the Vikings with this one.
I like head-to-head matches, man. I like it.
I have to call you out on this because even though the Vikings are playing a Raider team that's better at home, their offense is better and their defense is better. Even with a backup Josh Dobbs that, yeah, he's going to have some shitty games here and there, but is he really going to struggle against a Raiders secondary that's absolute trash? The Raiders only really have Max Crosby and I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of another guy that they have that's good at defense.
That might speak enough to it as it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Like,
Yeah,
that's pretty much all you need to say about that one.
I think they still have Bilal Nichols on their front line, but that's also not going to be
do.
enough.
They have one of the more underrated slot corners in Hobbs, but he's been injured most of the year.
Yeah, they were no good even with him out there. But yeah, give me the Vikings at what are they at right now?
-3.
Yeah, I'll take that. I think they're winning by at least a field goal.
Yep. I love that side of this because you said it perfectly. They're just been better all year, and they're risking falling out of the playoff seeding if they lose. This is a must-win if you're the Vikings.
Yeah, and strangely
Josh
enough,
Dobbs in a contract year, he wants to get paid. Maybe he fools a team into giving him the Ryan Fitzpatrick money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, strangely enough, the Vikings are also a better road team than they are a home team. I don't know how the fuck that works, but that's just them.
Probably just because the start of the year they were playing awful, and they kicked high gear.
Yeah, they were horrible the first 3 games, as I've mentioned many times. But
first 5 games, they were 1-5. They were 1-4. Something stupid. And they came back.
Exactly, and so I'm definitely ready to build some lineups.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into lineups, I don't know. I just want to mention because it is pretty big sports news. Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers, staying in LA.
Not surprised in the least.
Yeah, 10 years, $700 million.
I think it's a smart move for him from a marketing standpoint, from a life standpoint, and from a team standpoint. So it crosses off all the boxes that you would want in a sports organization move. He he stays in a big market, a market that has international, flair, that knows how to handle stars. He doesn't have to move because he already played for the Angels, so he's already familiar with the area. It just made so much sense. Where literally, if he would have went to the Blue Jays, he would have had to go to a different, have to learn a whole new
cross country.
Right. So to me, it made sense.
Yeah, and even as a Cubs fan and White Sox fan, I knew that he wasn't going to go to either team because there was no way the Cubs were going to pay him.
And the Red Sox don't believe in paying anyone either. So
no, they bought into the Moneyball method, sabermetrics, long ago.
They definitely have.
All right, that's all I had on that. Go if you want to. You got anything on Shohei?
No. Hopefully he has a shot to do something good now.
Yep.
No one does anything in the Angels.
Like play quarterback for the Rams.
Hey man,
Shohei gonna start playing quarterback now too? What the fuck?
Why not? Yeah, let's be honest. He might be able to throw a football pretty well.
I mean, maybe they should have signed him over Carson Wentz. Just saying. But speaking of kicking off our socks, let's kick off this lineup. What do we? I like it when we are kind of forced to all kind of talk about the quarterback position because I do think the quarterback kind of sets the market, and then we can draft from there. But did you guys have any pillars? Anything you definitely wanted to get out?
No.
Evan, you were talking about playing cheaper quarterback earlier in the week, but how has that evolved? Are you still feeling that way? Because that's also part of the entertainment of it. Sometimes in the beginning of the week you think one way, and then by the time Saturday comes around, you think a totally different way. And I think there's value in that as well.
Yeah, no, I had an idea earlier that I think it'd be interesting to build 2 lineups where we could pick from a list of 2 backup quarterbacks and then see what we can build based on that. And I was kind of having a hard time figuring out like what criteria am I going to set for backup quarterbacks? Because an example of this is that Zach Wilson technically is a backup quarterback to Aaron Rodgers, which lasted a whole 4 plays, and then he just became the starter by default. Then he lost the starting job again to fucking whatever the fuck his name was who got released, and now he's
Tim
back.
Boyle. Yep.
Tim Boyle, yeah, that's how important Tim Boyle is. I don't even remember his name. But yeah, that was the issues I was trying to work out in my head is where do I want to draw that line. So I think we should at least build 2 lineups with that tonight. We don't have to spend a lot of time on those lineups either.
The reason why I don't like that strategy this week is that the backup quarterbacks are literally all playing each other. It is the week of the backup head-to-heads.
That's a good point. I like cheap quarterback. I was gonna say though, the crux of what you found though, Evan, I think is kind of what happens with people that build this kind of idea. It's like, yeah, you can find the quarterback that scores 15 points, but it's hard to find one of those quarterbacks that you think is going to score 26 or 27 points, which is what you kind of need for most of your positions, really, if you're thinking about it. Because we're trying to get to at least 300 or at least the upper twos in terms of total score. So, it's always an interesting build. Gov, did you have any pillar ideas, any concepts you wanted to float out there before we start drafting a team?
I mean, the only thing I want to do this week is make sure I get a piece of San Francisco.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure which one on which lineup, whether it's Kittle, whether it's Ayuk, whether it's Debo, whether it's McCaffrey.
So we're going to play Drew Lock and Christian McCaffrey then.
I mean, what, huh?
I'm just saying, if we combine Evan's idea of backup quarterback.
Awful idea.
No, I was just playing. I was just playing with it. What I'm saying
sorry, it's not the worst idea. Good Lord.
It's not bad. It's not terrible. But, I mean, Donnie, what kind of weird philosophy are you going to come up with this week to add to already this?
I don't need to get weird, to be honest. I just, I just want to. If I said something weird, I'm not playing how I would really play.
Yeah.
So
honestly, though, do you think that people do that too much at this point? Like, we're already pretty deep in the season, so I do think this would be an interesting topic. Do you think that people try to get too different week to week?
I'm sure there's some people, but I play what I think is going to score every time.
Yeah.
I don't get too much into that.
So honestly, when you think about a score, though, what are you looking to get from most of your players?
Depends on the guy.
So
I have really changed.
It's totally price dependent for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it averages out to about 27 is kind of the average you want for most of your players. Obviously, if you go with the 3K guy, you're okay eating at 10 points as long as it gets you somebody you think you get 30 or 40, like a Tyreek Hill, for example.
So where do we want to start with our first lineup?
I like that Seattle 49ers game too. Did you guys like anyone from that game? Because I'm kind of with Gov. I like that game.
I mean, I don't know why you'd want anyone but CMC. If you expect this game to be a blowout, then he'll probably get the ball unless they're resting him for Mitchell. But
even in the blowouts, they're scoring 30 points. It's not all CMC.
I know, but he's most likely.
But but this year, at least one of their guys has gone for 22 plus DraftKings points every week, not named CMC.
I was actually thinking about fading Christian McCaffrey this week.
So I'm saying, I don't even count. Honestly, I don't even count Christian McCaffrey as I want to play one of Ayuk, Debo, or Kittle because I think one of them, I think San Fran scores 30. it may very well be a blowout against Seattle.
Well,
if San
look at the
Fran's
last game he had
30
against Seattle.
Oh, Johnny, I'll
in
just
that
make this.
last game they had against Seattle, it was either Devo or Kittle that had like 20 plus fantasy points. So
Well,
I want to
And
get a
CMC had 34.
He
Right.
had-
But I get
It's
what
not
you're
like
saying.
CMC can't have a great game, but I don't think that like that doesn't change the fact that I want a different piece from San Francisco because I think they also have a good game. Like I don't see, we all agree we don't see a scenario where San Fran doesn't put up a good amount of points.
there is no scenario where Christian McCaffrey doesn't get 20, but I don't think 20 is good enough for his price.
I expect him to get 30 is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And I
like-
think he can get 30 and one of Kittle, Ayu, or Debo also get 22 to 25.
right. And
I
really have that.
feel like I don't know if we need McCaffrey at the price, but I do want one of the other pieces.
I think we should hurry up and play George Kittle before Zach Ertz joins the team and eats all his targets.
I do think Kittle is a good play this week.
Yeah, even at 5,900, I mean, is Seattle really going to stop the tight end?
Donnie, you okay with Kittle? We'll circle back.
Oh,
to
I don't mind. I'm just still trying. You know, I'm not saying we have to play him. I'm just saying the most likely guy to score 30 to 40 points is going to be him.
No,
Yeah,
agreed.
but
But
it's
like
so-
Debo just had 38 last week, so I don't think it's impossible for one of the other guys to have a ceiling.
It's
game,
not.
and I do think one of them will.
I
Now,
think
I don't know if
Debo-
it's Kittle or Ayuk or Debo, so I'm fine going Kittle if that's what we want to do in this lineup.
Well, he's the cheapest, and I do think it would be good because I do think a lot of people will want to pay up for a tight end and go with like Kelsey or even like a TJ Hawkinson. I think Kittle kind of might go under the radar actually. My problem with Chris McCaffrey, I'll just say really quickly. Again, it's just so much touchdown dependent this year. He's been super efficient, but he hasn't really got a ton of workload if you really think about it. He's got 17 touchdowns, so he's guaranteed like 20 points, but at this price, he's getting up there where it's pretty.
He scored a touchdown in the game, but one. Like, that's insane.
And if he doesn't, Donnie, he failed.
That's not true, actually. He didn't score a touchdown against Jacksonville, and he crushed it.
Yeah. I mean, he could not score a touchdown and still have 100 yards and 6 catches. Like,
Yeah, he went 16 for 95 against Jacksonville, and he caught 6 of 10 passes.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying I don't know if he's worth the money this week.
Where's he priced at again? Yeah, he's at 9,200, which is about right.
Which I think there's a lot of people that are underpriced this week, but we'll see where we end up. Anything else we definitely wanted to talk about or get in this lineup?
I think we need to decide on which cheap quarterback we want to start with.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, okay, do we want to just combine this?
You might as well.
Okay.
yeah. Let's see if we can, especially if Johnny wants
Build
to
a
play.
good lineup with our pillars. Yeah.
Okay, so I have 6 choices that I think are reasonable. I was thinking 1, Desmond Ridder, 2, Gardner Minshew, 3, Jake Browning, 4, CJ Beathard, assuming that Trevor Lawrence isn't gonna go, but that's we could probably throw that name out, and then either Dobbs or Zach Wilson.
Okay. Well, I do have some news that's important for the cheap quarterback play. The Vikings just announced that their OC will travel and will coach the game.
Not sure I actually cared about that.
I don't care
Well,
about that
you know,
either.
losing your OC due to an arrest is kind of a big deal right before game day. I'm
Not
sorry.
sure I actually care about that, honestly.
I don't
Well,
Of the guys you said, Evan, I think I would want to go with either Browning or Minshew.
It would be Browning or Minshew for me. It would be Browning over Minshew, but
floor Browning, ceiling, I guess, would be there. No, it's the other way around. Floor Minshew, ceiling Browning would kind of be the thing.
if we're playing GPP, I guess it's Browning.
Yeah, I'd go Browning because at least then we can get Chase. We can get, we can get
People
those
are
guys.
saying like, "Oh, well, he's going to be chalky because he's cheap and he shouldn't be this cheap." But that's just where other people make the mistake when it comes to quarterback. If I think a quarterback is a good play, I'm going to play him. I don't really worry about ownership with quarterbacks as much because you can stack them with so much.
Okay, so we could work in Minshew in a different lineup then.
So, are we then going to play Jamar Chase at wide receiver? To me, that makes obvious sense.
Yeah, for playing Browning,
Why
I think,
not?
I
Yeah,
think
why
I'd like
not?
him to start.
I think Chase is underpriced too. I mean, Pittman and him are basically the same price, but I don't think they're the same talent anywhere close.
Yeah, and Browning peppered the shit out of him against the Jaguars.
Do you just want to? Should we just full stack this game and
Yeah.
add a bring back and everything
I
too?
was gonna say they think that this game's gonna score over 40 points. They're looking at 44 as the game total. I would love to go Moss here. I thought he got very unlucky at the goal line. He's only 5,900.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go Zach Moss over Joe Mixon.
Yeah. He
He saved a bit of
failed
money
in a
too.
sense last week. I don't think many people will want to play him after such a high owned week and failing.
And I don't know if I want to play a receiver. Like, I would probably rather play Higgins than play most receivers from the Colts. So I think Moss is a good tiebreaker there. So, do we want to just draft from here?
I think
Yeah,
this
I
is a
think
good
that's
start.
a good core. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, we can just go use our spread picks. So, that would be what?
Do we want to go the regular order or reverse order?
Yeah, let's go with reverse. So start with you, Logan.
Okay.
We'll go Logan, Donnie, me, Evan. Right?
good.
Yeah.
So I got to do this to you guys, but you asked for it.
We've done nothing but agree on a lineup. What are you talking about?
Jared McKinnon.
Oh, okay.
PPR volume, baby.
Is he gonna be fully I don't think he'll be out there as more than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's my only thing.
I mean, I don't think he will either, but he's never been a guy that's going to get more than 50% of the snaps, something like that.
I would prefer to just play Clyde Edwards-Helaire personally, but I get it.
Yeah, I'd honestly rather play McKinnon. McKinnon has the touchdown upside. I don't think they just give Helaire. They know that they can't run the same kind of run offense with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. With Pacheco, they could run a smash mouth run offense. But with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they're most likely going to have to go back to more of a West Coast offense like they had been the last few years, in which case Edwards-Helaire will get 10 to 12 carries, maybe a few more, but passing game work will go to McKinnon, and I could see McKinnon getting red zone touches.
I'm playing. Yeah.
I like the play. I'm fine with it.
I'm playing both of these guys. I want to be clear. I like McKinnon this line because we got to shoot for upside. We already went with a start and scrub thing. And the Chiefs are known for passing more in the red zone than they are running. That would indicate maybe a swing pass to McKinnon.
It's also worth noting that Deneric Prince, the rookie out of Tulsa, was elevated to the active roster for the Chiefs earlier, who they really loved in the preseason, but I don't think he's going to get the majority of the snaps. I think he's mostly going to be change of pace to CEH.
And I would just say I think McKinnon also has the biggest home run upside of CEH or McKinnon.
Yeah, I could see him getting a red zone touchdown pass rather.
I don't need to take the next pick. You guys can go next.
Well, let's just stay in order. It's fine. I think it's Donnie and then Gov and then me, right?
Okay. Yeah. We don't need to snake it.
Yeah, we can do that. My pick, I do have a cheap option. I think I want to get in there, which I don't know if you guys would like, but it's a desperate team trying to fight for their playoff spot. Divisional game, very important. I kind of like Drake London this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's been coming in.
He's cheap.
I don't want to say super chalky, but a lot of people are looking at that as a good value play.
I'm just not
not big on that Tampa Bay Atlanta game.
Same.
I'm gonna lock in a 3K defense just to kind of give us an idea what we got.
Yeah, we could definitely pay up after here, though. I gave you guys the salary. Pay up, baby.
What's weird is, man, London's got a lot of targets, but last week he just didn't do it. But this could be a flop like game where he just gets a ton more work. We'll see. Tampa usually does give it up to wide receivers, do they not? So
Tampa's secondary does suck. I mean,
yeah,
they have Antoine Winfield back there, but that's like the only talent they've got.
I was about to say, like, it's not really that they give up to wide receivers; it's that they force you to pass. But like that means wide receivers have big days against them.
yeah, and we know that's what the Falcons want to do. They're going to want to establish the run. So then all you need is that big play action play, and he's only 4,600, so you don't need that much. We do have money though, so where do you guys want to go now?
All right, let's see.
And again, the defense is just a placeholder, just a 3K per placeholder, just so people could see.
It is YouGov, and Evan has the last pick.
Yep.
With the defense.
Okay.
I would just take the defense out, Logan. It's confusing.
No, it's fine. Let's see. Do we need value or should I just go? Yeah, no, like if we're going to, let's just full on go with the mini stack of the game. Give me DK Metcalf.
I do like DK Metcalf a lot more of Lock plays because Lock is more of a deep ball thrower.
See, and if Locke ends up playing, I'm going to be fully off the Seattle side.
All right. Evan, you have the next two picks, buddy. So
All right. So
now this is where you take out the defense, I think, at least. Yeah, it's a flex.
Well, I'm going to start with flex just to make it a little easier. And
Right.
Give me Cortland Sutton.
We got money.
Yeah, and that'll leave us with an extra 200 on the table, so we could consider like.
I think Brown's defense.
Where's the Browns? Yeah, that would just be a swap, and we could leave 200 on the table unless we want to upgrade someone else.
I know it's chalky, Gov, but it just makes a lot of sense.
Well, honestly, my favorite defense this week is Kansas City, which is a lot cheaper, but I'm just saying for future purposes, that's my favorite defense. 2,600, and you could go the other side of the Bills if you want to. I don't think it's the greatest, but a bad, Chiefs offense.
It does stack with McKinnon. I'm okay with either. What do you guys think? Browns?
We could go Chiefs. Yeah, Browns or Chiefs defense is kind of.
I think I'd just go with the Browns, honestly.
I agree. I think Browns would be safer.
Right, but for the next lineup, I think we should consider there are very cheap defenses on the table this week.
Okay. And then do we want to just leave the 200 on the table for this and just move on?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, what can we get anywhere from London just to see? I don't think so at 4,800.
No, I don't think so.
Do we?
We might get to Downs. Do we? No, we don't. Yeah, let's just keep it London.
Maybe London.
Yeah. I thought we might get to Downs. We don't.
Smith and Jigba.
See, the only thing I would do would be to actually go down from London to Elijah Moore, just because I don't like London.
And I would
if we go down, I'm not.
And then I would still just leave the 300 on the table at that point.
Well, yeah. I'm just playing the guy who I think is more talented.
So I think we just keep London and 200 is nothing. We can leave that.
Yeah,
because London. I was gonna say London might be a one-off, but at least it makes sense with the kind of game that you think that Tampa likes to give up. They do like to go up, receiving to wide receivers. We can go into another lineup now.
Well, to be fair, Logan, I don't think they like to do that.
Well, I mean, that's what they do. So, I mean, we're playing that narrative at least.
Okay, so for this lineup, I was thinking we could play Gardner Minshew at quarterback and then consider one of the defenses like the Chiefs that Donnie suggested.
Well, see, I'd rather play a quarterback like Justin Fields. Justin Fields, to me, is one of the perfect quarterbacks this week.
For sure. I was just thinking it would go along with my two lineups where we have backup quarterbacks in there. Like this would be the last one, or we could save it for later if you want.
Yeah, I don't want to play all garbage quarterbacks.
No, I was
Yeah,
just
I
thinking
wanna-
just
I wanna-
two lineups.
Personally, the guy I would go with a more expensive guy this week who has such a high ceiling. We saw him climb up at the end of the year last year, Justin Fields. There's rumors, though I don't think they're very strong, and I don't think it will happen, that they might consider replacing him if they get a high enough draft pick, which I know it's not on them to get this pick, it's all on the Panthers. But I think he still wants to prove that he's the guy.
But you want to play who? Bryce Young?
Fields. Where'd you get Bryce Young?
I thought you said the Panthers.
I said the Panthers because they had the Panthers pick.
Yeah,
Okay.
DJ Moore trade.
Sorry. I guess I had done, Evan's pillar still stuck in my head on my bad quarterbacks, and I heard Panthers, and I panicked. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. I think that's fine to stick Fields in there because
Okay, so Fields. Gov, is there any quarterback that you think we're missing on, or we should at least have a discussion about this week? You think it maybe is a good play?
I mean, I really like Josh Allen. I think that game's shooting out, and no one really wants to play him. And him and Kansas City have had some major games.
I do feel that way. I don't want to play him. I don't mind getting him. I just
He's like my favorite
I
quarterback.
kind of like it though. If we're gonna do it, we might as well just pay all the way up and see what we can do.
He is legit my favorite quarterback to play this week.
Mine
I
is.
have not played him at all, sadly.
I was about to say, so you've missed out on 3 weeks where he could have won. And
Oh no, hold on. I
could've
played
won
him
you a
this
tournament.
year.
I
I
think,
played him this year. I just haven't played him this week.
I think for the show's sake, wouldn't this be interesting? We just played Evans bottom of the barrel quarterback. If we play Gov's top of the top here with Josh Allen, we have an exact contrast of a lineup. I think that could be interesting.
I still want to get
if I'm going
in too.
You want to
wanna
get
do
who?
what?
I would
San
still say
Fran
we need
piece?
to get a San Fran piece. If we did
Yeah.
Kittle, I'd want to choose between Ayuk and Debo and get one of them in here.
I don't care
same
which one. I think they're both
same
good
thing as
players.
same thing as we did last week. Sanford's offense has been so smash. I don't understand why you wouldn't want him in here.
Okay, Evan, give us a pillar or give us a structured thing you want to do, and then we'll draft from there.
So I think we can start with this. I mean, we could probably come back to Justin Fields later, but Josh Allen will be a good start.
Mm-hmm.
I think that San Francisco piece we should get is Debo for this one, just being $100 cheaper than Ayuk, and then I don't really care where we go from here. We could try it for a bring back. We could try and correlate with the Bills at Chiefs game, and we just go from there.
For me, Donnie, I like Samuel here a little bit more, especially if we don't go Christian McCaffrey, because Samuel might steal the rushing touchdowns from CMC, which CMC obviously is reliant on.
Yep.
But do you have a preference between Ayuk and Samuel? Because I really don't. But if I had,
I really could not care less. They're so talented.
Yeah. Let's just go with the cheaper one that has a bit more rushing upside, and you go with Samuel.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to play this guy because I don't think we're gonna get him any cheaper at any point this year, and that is Justin Jefferson.
That is kind of a bargain considering what he brings.
I know he's
Yeah.
coming off injury, but we saw Cooper Kupp come right in his first week and get priced right around similar and flash. We see a lot with backup quarterbacks that come in, and there's not a lot of game footage on them. I don't know. I just think Justin Jefferson could come in and just nuke this slate at that price.
Can I have one more wide receiver suggestion for a cheaper
Yeah.
value?
Is there anyone else that's totally under the radar for you, Evan?
Jacoby Myers.
I honestly feel the same way about that. I was going to suggest a Raiders guy next anyway.
I was going to say we would go Adams, but if you guys like that better, then that's fine.
We spent a lot of salary, so get the cheaper option.
Yeah, and Myers being below 6,000, I think that screams value.
Gov, I think I know what you want to do here at Flex, or at least for your bring back of Allen. You want to go with Gabe Davis, right?
Yeah, I kind of do want to do Gabe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was going with Gabe.
It's the same play as a couple. We did a couple weeks ago. Was it? What slate was that? We put Gabe Davis in.
It was the slate we won. And Gabe Davis, by the way, played okay, but not great. But
I thought he had a good game. He was in the 20s. That's a pretty good game for 5,800.
That was that rainy game where he could have scored a lot more, though, I think. And that maybe that's what.
Diggs also went crazy that game as well.
I know we just did it, but it just screams to me as such a great value. Should we go right back to Chase at 7,600?
No, what?
Wait, for who?
How?
Jamar Chase.
You can't.
How?
You used the receiver.
Oh, well, I'm just dreaming here, Gov. So, thanks for waking me up from my fantasy. I'm sorry. Oh, we got to pay some money.
For the defense,
To be honest, this lineup's not going to work.
Yeah,
I don't think we can punt enough at tight end and defense to even get two viable.
You'd have to put Clyde Edwards-Helaire best case scenario.
Yeah, you're definitely playing Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a punt tight end and the punt defense, and then you might have like $5K left for a playable running. You might have to play Edwards-Helaire and McKinnon in this lineup, to be honest. And I'm not doing a double bring back like that. So I don't think this lineup's going to work. I don't think we can do Jefferson and Myers.
Yeah, don't.
With Josh Allen, I don't think we can do Jefferson and Myers, honestly.
Yeah.
We need to put some money into running back.
Let me get rid of Jefferson then.
So, Elijah Moore?
Yeah, he's good value.
Yeah.
Leave Gabe Davis. Why'd you take
leave Gabe Davis is fine.
Well,
Yeah.
Davis was fine, and he was in the flex where he needed to be.
I was going to put him back at wide receiver, so we have the flex open for running back.
But the flex was there for PMR anyways, so.
Yeah, the flex was for Gabe.
It was perfect.
We can use a running back in the flex.
If we get rid of Myers, we might switch that out. Because without Jefferson, I don't see a reason to actually need Myers. We could find a different PMR piece. And to be fair, it's a PMR stack with Debo. So I don't mind grabbing a early piece that I think goes off.
Yeah, the only way I play Myers
entire afternoon lineup.
Wait, I thought we were keeping Justin Jefferson. Are we just going to take him out now?
No, we took up.
No, that's the thing. That was the first thing. I don't think we can do Jefferson and Debo and a Josh Allen stack. We were not going to have enough money to make anything work.
All right, so it has to be Gabe at that second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be Gabe.
So
we definitely couldn't have done Diggs, and then we need to get down off of Jefferson to something cheaper so that we have money.
Yeah, and I don't know if I want a Myers as the only piece from the Raiders game.
That's fair. I don't want that either.
So, what about Rice here?
See, I like Rice as the Kansas City guy. I don't want Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Well, no, that was just to see if it was even possible to fit.
I was just showing people what we would have to do.
I'd be fine with sticking Rice in the flex if we want to make the third wide receiver Elijah Moore.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Stick Rice or Davis in the flex, or even Debo. Any one of those afternoon wide receivers in the flex, and then play Elijah Moore from the early game at wide receiver. Now you have money to work with. We could punt a little bit,
play the better
and play some decent running backs.
Why don't we just play the better Moore and DJ?
How much is DJ Moore? Let's see.
Again,
65?
65.
Maybe we can pivot to that, but I don't want to just jam in DJ Moore and then we're back at the same situation.
We're spending a lot less this way.
Ideally, I do not want to play Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Jerick McKinnon in this lineup.
That would be great.
That would be the most ideal thing. So I don't want to just be let's just jam in DJ Moore. No, I want salary at running back. Before we change anything at wide receiver, let's put a running back in this lineup. We keep thinking, Elijah Moore, Jefferson, Myers, DJ Moore. How about we put a fucking running back in this lineup?
Yeah.
Pay some money for. Who do we actually like at running back?
honestly, we just took out Meyer. I like Josh Jacobs for the Raiders.
I would have liked
I
to have done
don't.
Jacobs on the other side of Jefferson personally if we were doing that. But Zach Moss is fine. I'm fine with Javante against the Chargers. Let's see, what's the cheapest one I'd go? No,
That makes some sense, especially.
I kind of want to pay up a little bit. Does anyone hate Jahmyr Gibbs against Chicago?
Not at all.
He's got
because-
big play upside too.
Then if we have the money to get up to DJ Moore, I like that even more because now it's a mini correlation.
Yeah, because
But,
the
like,
Bears are
let's-
terrific at stopping the run, but Gibbs is going to catch some passes, and so
So
is
why
David
don't we try to do
Montgomery.
that then? 'Cause I
Exactly. So
don't-
let's get
I don't-
Gibbs in there as a good. That now we've paid some money for running back. Okay.
There, do you like that better? Because I don't know if you're a big Gibbs guy, Donnie, but I know you want to play DJ Moore. So if we pair both of them, do you like it?
I don't
Do we
care.
want to go Zach Moss as a second running back?
I'm looking like something's off. Where you don't
I
have
want
Rashi,
to get the Bears defense.
you don't have
out.
Rashi
Like,
Rice in the lineup right now. I don't think we have the money to go to DJ Moore.
Oh, that
You're supposed to have Rice in the flex. So I don't think we have the money to go up to DJ Moore. You still need it to be Elijah Moore.
And I need to get the Bears defense out.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Okay, now get Elijah Moore at the third wide receiver.
Yes.
No, not Mooney.
It's the second guy on the list. E. Moore.
yeah, I was looking for him. There it is.
All right. So
Now, do you still like Elijah Moore with Cooper playing, or do you like him more?
I still like him. He was getting plenty of good
I
volume.
just don't
in the
like
last-
Elijah Moore at all.
Like,
be
if you
honest.
don't like Elijah Moore, it's probably just because you don't like the Cleveland offense.
He saw 12 targets to that
Exactly.
point, Donnie.
Yeah.
Like he's getting the volume. And that was the game with Cooper. Like, I have no problem playing Elijah Moore. He's clearly the number 2 wide receiver there.
Flacco does spam the ball to Elijah Moore.
So, like, I'm perfectly fine
One
with that.
game is not proof of that.
He did it with the Jets.
12 targets, 9 targets, 7 targets, 7 targets, last 4 games.
And if
He
you
is
go,
getting volume. He has 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so really, he only has 3 games this year where he had less than 6 targets.
all I'm saying, if you went back to the time with Flacco and Elijah Moore with the Jets, like that's the only guy Flacco has some chemistry with.
Like he has 7 or more targets in like 10 games this year.
Okay, Don,
I'm fine with Elijah Moore.
you sound like a sad panda, so I'm going to give you free reign here. What do you want to do with this
Yeah,
lineup?
Yeah, we have 4,200. Do you want to grab a value piece at defense or tight end, or do you want to try to pick a good running back? Please don't pick Clyde Williams.
It's a bring back. Go.
We have Rice. We have our bring back.
yeah,
You don't need any more of that game.
I'm not playing Rice and receiver or wide receiver from Kansas City. That makes no sense. I don't know what I'd want to put in this lineup, to be honest. It's not.
I
my
like that
favorite
you're
lineup.
so uncomfortable.
I'll
with-
tell you right now, like there are punt plays at defense to play, and there are cheap tight ends. You could play 6K for a running back again.
But Donnie, that's kind of why we do this and the way we do it, because I like it's lineups that we normally wouldn't build independently, but together we come up with some interesting. So you have to put your flavor on this lineup. I'm
Throw
sure
Pitts.
Yeah,
Throw
just
Pitts in
letting you
there.
know the math lies. Like you could
Kyle Pitts.
realistically pay all the way
Kyle
up
Pitts.
to.
All right. We're going big here.
You like the Atlanta passing? I mean, I get it because the
You
matchup.
realistically could get all the way up to 7,700 at running back if we punted everything at tight end and defense. So there's plenty of money to spend and get whoever you want.
Yeah, he's a Kyle Pitts.
Can I make a
Get
case?
anyone except McCaffrey and Eckler, basically,
Can I make a case for Rashad White at running back?
or McCaffrey and Kamara. Sorry. Ooh, Rashad
I mean,
White.
there's a bring back.
Yeah, because he's 6,800 and he gets plenty of work with Baker.
He does, and he gets receiving work. I like that.
Yeah, he gets a lot of good red zone work too.
He basically, like, honestly, his workload.
Ooh, unfortunately, that is like when you go up to Kyle Pitts, I think our limit is like 6,300 that we can fit.
Oh, frick.
Yeah, 2,400 is for the Bears.
Yeah,
So
you
it's-
probably look if you want to play viable defense, you're probably looking at a guy like Gus Bus, essentially.
No. Like, okay, I've seen this thrown out. It's not something I'm a huge favorite of, but it's entirely possible with the lineup we built. We do full game stack. And we put in James Cook, who's been getting 20-plus touches a game the last 3.
Or
And say we go Allen, Cook, Davis with Rashi on the other side.
I do
Then
think
then at that point, you do have money for, like, you could even do the
Or
Browns, whatever defense. Like, you would have some money.
Do
Like,
we?
It would be Gus Bus or Zach Moss or James
Joe
Cook.
Mixon, maybe.
Mixon, maybe.
Eh.
But, like, I do think we could play one of these 6K range running backs. And then
I do think it's Mixon a Cook.
Do we want? Are we absolutely set on keeping Gibbs in there too? Because that's not a running back friendly defense.
True. Like, if you wanted, like,
No, but that's why I thought we were playing Gibbs because of the receiving work.
Right, but at the same time, it's still not friendly for running backs.
true. So, like, we could pivot down from Gibbs to.
So what if we played Mixon and Cook?
Well, I was thinking we could pivot down from Gibbs to Rashad White and then keep going down.
Okay.
Well, you'd be pivoting up from,
Rashad White's more
Wait.
expensive than Gibbs.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I forgot he was 6,600. Sorry. Okay. So Rashad White would still be more, but
and then what if we put Cook in here, and what do we get for defense?
yeah.
Cook is 62, I think. How do you
6K.
like?
Yeah.
6 flat.
So
You'd
then,
have 27.
yeah. So we have.
And you
3K.
can get good defenses here at 27.
Okay.
Not really. Like, you
Uh,
have at 27, you have the
Or
Rams
you can-
against Baltimore. I'm not thrilled on that one. You have that Chiefs-Bills game, which we're stacking, so we don't want
Yeah.
the
But we
defense
don't really have a piece besides Rice can still have a good game, and the Chiefs don't score.
like, you would be needing a score from one of the defenses. I just don't see, like, if this game goes off the way we are stacking it, the
Yeah.
defenses are not going to have this high-scoring game.
It's supposed to be really rainy in the Baltimore Rams game.
Right, like I don't want any part of that Baltimore Rams game defensive wise. Like, we're betting on the Chiefs Bills game being high scoring, so I don't think the defense is good there. So that
honestly-
means the only viable options would be Seattle against San Fran. That's a no.
I
And
think
then-
we get off the way.
Like, it would be the Bears versus Detroit.
Well, what if we got off of Cook and went to Gus Edwards in a rainy game and got up to one of those, the Broncos defense or something like that?
Yeah, I was gonna recommend getting off of White and going down to Mixon, but that would be me.
I'm
That
not
too.
great about playing Mixon, and I'm not comfortable with both Mixon or Edwards.
Yeah, see, this is a very uncomfortable range, but I want to be in this range because, like, I think most people are going to be like, oh, I'll just plug in 4,200 Clyde Edwards-Helaire and build from there. And it's like, no, let's be a little more uncomfortable. Let's build a good lineup that doesn't have to
See,
Just
I kind of
enjoy
like
it
the
with a
Rams
running back
defense.
that can get you no points. Let's
In
find
that
some of
price-
these mid-range guys that actually have shots at points. Like, I'm okay with the Cook correlation. I'm not sold on it completely. We could still switch off of him to Gus or something, or Javante or Zach Moss.
Yeah. Yeah,
In
that's
that
what-
Or even Mixon. I still think I'd rather just have Gibbs than Rashad White, personally. I
In
know the
that
matchup
price-
is bad, but I'll take the $200 and figure out what I can do with it from there.
what if we just went to Moss though?
Well, that's what I was just about to try to say, is that I think Zach Moss I'd rather have in that range compared to Gus Bus or
Well, let me
Mixon.
look because I had heard that what was the backup for Denver?
Ryan, yeah, he's questionable.
Yeah. And McLaughlin doesn't get enough work.
Yeah. So, like, Javante's a maybe, but I'm not thrilled to play that one.
So
Like
you-
I'm not thrilled to play anyone in that range, but Zach Moss and Mixon are probably the two that I would have the most of. But I'm trying to get up to, like, guys like Gibbs and Bijan.
Yeah.
More likely. Or just straight pay up for McCaffrey or Kamara. But we don't have the money to do that.
And this is what happens when you play Allen.
But that's okay, because we got to challenge ourselves once in a while, right?
Exactly.
So,
And no one's going to play Pitt.
I would say, like, again, I think we get off Rashad White, and that is the guy who becomes Zach Moss.
sure.
And then we still play James Cook, and then
we
see
go
where
to
we're at.
Cook. Okay. And then we have 3,600 to play with.
Yeah, so now most people are going to be paying down at defense or just going to the Browns.
See,
So
I
we-
like that, but I thought you guys were locking me on White.
No, I'm not
White-
locked in on White.
Yeah,
They might
Okay,
be.
good.
yeah. White was my accidental pay up above Gibbs.
Yeah, I can work with
Like,
that.
I'm fine, like, correlating with, like, Browning can't have 2 good games in a row, right? He's not that good. We
Should
could
we
just
go Mixon?
hold defense and correlate it with Zach Moss. And then have our Allen, Cook, Davis with
I
Rashi
don't
on
like
the other
the
side.
defense week.
Pitts,
Yeah.
Debo, Elijah Moore. Like, I don't hate that lineup, actually. It took a minute, but, like, that's not something horrible in my eyes.
Well, you want to go Cook to running back too?
Yeah, go Cook at running back, and then we have 3,600. You do 35 and play the Colts defense.
I like it.
What do you think, Donnie? You have a better idea?
I don't even know the defenses in this price range.
So you got 36 Jaguars, 35 Colts, 34 Lions, 33 Ravens, 32 Raiders. Now you're starting to get into that same range of the Browns and all the other defenses that most people are playing.
I guess you just stick Colts in because it correlates. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, it does work. And, like, again, it's good leverage because a lot of people are going to be playing Jake Browning and the Cincinnati side. Hell, we did.
I think I would go with the Ravens, but I don't mind the Colts.
There's just so much talent on that Rams offense. You never know.
If we
You
went the
just-
Ravens, I would just switch Zach Moss to Gus Bus.
Right.
But I think either one of those options, they're basically the same
Yeah,
price. I think either one is viable, honestly.
I like this lineup.
All right.
Okay, so
That's all I
we
have
did, the,
time
third one?
for.
we did the cheap quarterback. We did the expensive quarterback. Now what?
That's all I got time for.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like, we got 2. That's what we've done the last few weeks.
That's what we've done. We spent more time on those two, but we've done pretty well.
Can entice you guys to do one more lineup?
I can if Donnie is available.
I can't.
Donnie's got a hard out here. It is 11:30.
Okay, so rapid fire, Gov and Donnie. We're in a sweat with our best ball. Last question of the night, do you guys think we're going to make it with that second team? The first team is pretty much locked in. We're 100 points ahead of third place. We're probably going to make it at least in one of them. Do you think that second team will get in?
I think it would be tough, but it's not impossible.
We're 35 points away. Trevor Lawrence and Matthew Stafford are quarterbacks.
It's a tough one.
I think we get
we'd
in.
have to be very lucky with quarterback wise, I think.
I think we get in. I think we get in easy. It'll be interesting because the guy ahead of us has Lamar Jackson as his only quarterback because his second quarterback was Kenny Pickett. So you guys can go back and listen to that one as well to see the full team and cheer us on. Again, like I said, we're 35 points away from cashing easy in that best ball contest. We should be able to cash in the other one we did. So we'll have some best ball content next week for you guys as well, hopefully, as we get into the playoffs. Hopefully these two lineups did well. I kind of like the two lineup structure because we spent a little bit more time on those and really flushed them out and build some good lineups. Good luck to you guys. Again, make sure you diversify your portfolio. Bet within your limits, of course, but find different ways to enjoy this game. I enjoyed the night with the guys. I don't want to keep them any longer. Good night. Have a good one.
Good night, guys.
Yep.
Keep the faith. Go Bears.
Congrats to the Lakers and LeBron on the real Mickey Mouse ring. All jokes aside, though, the in-season tournament was kind of good.
Eh. I really wanted the Pacers to win that game.
I was going to say it was a good showcase for for people that don't know how good the Pacers are, because I do think they had a lot of good young talent that a lot of people haven't seen. So in that way, it was a lot of good exposure, and it gave younger players a chance to make a lot of money. So
yes, that's what's most important.
I will never begrudge, young players that can get a chance to make some serious money, because not everyone in the league is making Giannis type money. So that is a cool thing. As a fan, I don't know if I really care about the in-tournament type stuff. But speaking of in-tournament, we'll join you guys midweek next week to review this lineup. But again, good night. Hope you guys do well. Hope you guys learned something. See ya.
Peace out, everyone.